What is up, guys in here? It's been ages since I've dropped a video, and so this is going to be the first one, hopefully in a bunch, that I'm going to be putting out there. And uh, I did ask on LinkedIn a while ago whether you guys wanted to see some of the AI projects that I work on kind of behind the scenes, where I walk you through how I actually implement a project. And a bunch of you said yes, and so that's really the purpose behind this video, is to just walk you through how I build an AI project from scratch, or at least as close to scratch as you can see. And so anyway, I have a bunch of concepts for this really cool product. I actually came across this. I think it's called Audio Pen. Audio Pen. There it is. So it's a site. I came across it on Product Hunt, and I thought this is super cool. The way it works, kind of high level, is you take an audio note and you just talk about a bunch of stuff. So I could literally talk about anything, maybe my day, what I had for lunch, whatever, talk about general stuff. And Audio Pen here would summarize it and kind of get rid of all of the rambling and just, give you a concise note in text, which is kind of like a summary of whatever it is that you said. So to demonstrate, once you hit stop, finish the audio note, it transcribes, rewrites, and then just shows you a quick summary that you can then, copy, paste, whatever, store in your notes. So I thought, this is sick. Wouldn't it be awesome if you could actually build your own? I think this would be a sick product to do. And then there's other stuff that you can kind of line up on top of this. So you can see here, kind of explaining what audio note is about, which is exactly what I was talking about, right? Your day or lunch, and then condense your speech, eliminate rambling, and provide a summary of your text. Cool, very nice. You can see the original transcript too. And so I'd like to build something similar. And the UI is kind of more minimal. I think it'd be easier for me to kind of take notes, and also at the same time, like, you have a bit more control about where it's getting stored and everything. So yeah, I think this is a really simple example that we can follow. So to walk through this, when you open the app, you're shown with a new note screen. You hit the microphone button, it starts recording, and then when you hit stop, it transcribes the audio that you recorded. And this is typically in English, but it could actually work for any language. And then the result is you would have a summary, so a title and a summary of your note, and then a couple buttons, so you can copy the note. You can also show the original, just like we saw earlier, and then maybe you can just record another note. So really simple, really minimal. Just gets you into the gist of like how an AI solution like this would actually work. And the purpose of this stream is to go from literally a brand new app into a completed and finished app. So let's see if we can manage that. Probably going to take a couple hours. I don't know, to be honest. These things, I tend to be over optimistic when I plan schedules. So we'll just wait and see how long this is going to take. And yeah, so this is like the behind the scenes. I'm probably going to do a supercut version as well that just explains things really quickly. But yeah, this is probably going to be a couple hours long. Anyway, so before we dive into the actual code, I made this quick diagram to illustrate how this is going to work. So there are a couple of steps here. First, we need to get the raw audio. So we get this from your mic. We suck in the audio, and then we need to convert that to text. This process is called transcription. So we transcribe the audio into text. And here you can see Sam Altman's face. We would be using an OpenAI repo called Whisper. This is a technology that OpenAI open sourced. One of the few things that they actually open sourced, I guess. That's what a lot of people are saying. Anyway, so they open sourced the entire thing, not just the model itself, but also the weights. And so you could typically, you could use a third party if you didn't want to use OpenAI's hosted version. You could use a third party, and that's actually what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using a service called Replicate. And then once you've got the text, we feed that to Sam again. Here we'll be using the chat completions API. So we basically tell it, here's a transcript. I want you to summarize it and then give me back the end result. And here would be using, ChatGPT, probably 3.5, maybe 4. It's really up to you. But I think for our purposes, 3.5 is going to be more than enough. And then we get the answer back and we just display it. So really simple, just literally 2 calls here. The first to do the transcription, and then the second one to do the summarization. Now, with that said, I think we are ready to go. The stack I'm going to be implementing, by the way, just sort of a heads up before we dive into this, the way I typically implement projects like this is I would create like a minimal version, really crappy, like not focused on design or user experience at all. Just a really crappy version that's functional. So get it functional first, and then, you can spend your own sweet time kind of building up a pretty user interface. So that way you actually make progress. You have something functional that you can demonstrate at any point in time. And that's what I'm going to be doing here today as well. But that's it. Let's go ahead and dive in. So npx create next app. Maybe, yeah, Mike AI. Not a bad name. Not a bad name, Mike AI. Let's do that. We use TypeScript, ESLint, no, Tailwind, yes, no src directory. Okay. Yeah, we'll set up our project right here. All right, this will take a minute. So typically, the way most people do this, the default stack they use is NextJS. The beauty with NextJS is you can actually use APIs. You can have the same repository hold APIs as well as the front end. That's what we're going to be doing here today. Cool. So you can see under pages, you have an API directory. This is where you would put your actual API endpoint. So you would implement that here. It's pretty cool. Like one repository takes care of everything. What else do we need? And so I think at this point we're ready to start. Let's go over to here, npm run dev. Let's fire that up. Make sure that we can see a functional Next.js app. All right, yeah. So that's pages index.tsx. At this point, we just get rid of all of this stuff. Just say hi there. And I think what we could also do is get rid of the global styles that they've added. Just kind of keep it simple. All right, so we have a hi there. Cool. So that's working. All right. Do we need to do anything else? Yeah, so let's get started. I'm going to put this over here. All right, so first things first, let's see if we can come up with like a high-level plan that we can follow just to make it easier for us to track how we're progressing. So first thing, we're going to need to capture the audio, as we were saying over here. So capture audio. And then we need to upload the audio, transcribe it. And once we get the transcription, summarize it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So transcribe and summarize it. Yeah, I think those are the core points here. So capture the audio, upload it, transcribe it, and then summarize the audio. Cool. So let's start with the first one. So heading over to index, we need a way to capture audio. So this would essentially power this button over here where you click it and then it would start recording. And when you stop, it just, generates like an MP3 thing. I'm going to be using for this is this Chatbot UI product similar to ChatGPT, but it has some nifty little features. And so, for example, I want to create a React component in TypeScript Tailwind. I can simply describe what it is I want. So recording button that when pressed records audio from the user's microphone. I don't think we're going to need any prompts. If you wanted to actually set up these prompts yourself, which is what they're called, you can see essentially it's like copy pasting the entire thing and then pasting your own text, your input inside here. So if you wanted to create your own prompt, you can use the same guy that built this chatbot UI, McKay, also published his prompts. So you can just take those same prompts, import them, and then you'd be able to use them too. So that's actually what I'm using over here. All right, then you can create a recording button component. All right, so wait till this is done. So give you your components. Let's go ahead and create the directory components, and then we'll create recording button.ts. Okay, and that's where we can paste this stuff. Media recorder. Okay, cool. I've actually never built something like this. I don't even know how you would do it. But apparently there's a media recorder thing, a browser thing that you can use in order to do this, which is great because I didn't have to figure that out on my own, right? You could just take the result and there you go. Like you have the end result without having to research it yourself. So let's see if that works. Take your time now. What am I complaining about, right? It's saving me infinitely more time. Anyway, so let's open up our plan here. So capture audio. That was the first step. All right, I got the code. Let's copy, paste it here. Something's off. What is the issue? React element any is not assignable. FC props. But nah, I'm not really sure what this is about. Is it because I have the wrong extension? Could be. It's supposed to be TSX. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see. Cool. So we'll bring that in here. Recording button. And then it's missing the following properties on start recording, which presumably does something. What does it do? On start recording, new media recorder. I don't think we need to do anything. Let's see what it says here. To handle when the recording starts and stops, when the button is clicked, the compile will toggle recording state, either starting or stopping the audio capture. Okay. I don't think we need on start recording. Just kill that. Yeah, don't need that. I guess the idea was you could use that for kind of tracking or updating the UI over here, maybe. Anyway, don't care about that right now. We'll figure it out later. So we'll kill on start recording. Just keep on stop recording. On stop recording, and then that's going to take handle recording. So here we'll have handle recording, which is going to take a block. This is the audio file that we get back. What's up here? Children. Oh, I think it needs children, right? We don't use children anymore. Cool. All right. So when you're done, for now, we're just gonna console log it. I don't even know that's gonna work. By the way, let me just create this so that I can get pretty formatting. All right, so let's check it out. We have a record button. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, testing. Oh, cool. Did that actually work? Well, I got a log. It's an audio file. It's got a size. Maybe we can test this by, okay, test this by, or, provide a handle recording method that plays the audio when it's done. So this will give us a quick way to kind of test it out and see how it works. pass it the callback for on stop recording. Yeah, that's exactly what it wanted. So we'll be able to test this out, and hopefully if it works, we'll move on to the next step. Okay. It's a whole thing. So const audio equals new URL. Really, you just need to call this. Yeah, I don't need the whole thing. Let me just stop that right there. So we just need to call URL is that and create an audio. So URL and play the audio. Yeah, okay. Let's try it out. Hi, this is a test 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Did you hear that? I don't even know if you heard that, but it did work. I could hear the audio playing. So fantastic. That's pretty quick. So captured the audio, taking care of that first one. Next, we need to upload the audio. And there are a couple ways you can do this. I think the easiest way would be to upload it client side. I don't know of an obvious way to do this, like through the NextJS API route handlers. I don't know if you can. You probably can. I don't even know how you would do that, but you could probably do that. The easier way would be to simply upload it directly client side to some upload service. And so upload. I've used a bunch of services before. What was the one that showed up? Upload.io. Upload.io I think is a pretty cool service that we can use for just this thing. So we'll go ahead and use that. All right. So you can sign up for upload.io, and then you'd be able to, upload files directly from your client to this thing. So we'll need API keys for this. So you just head on over to this part over here, and then you would generate your own API keys that you would be able to use for this sort of thing. Anyway, so we'll create a .env where we'll store our upload.io key. I think for this, you need to use next. There's a prefix you need to use next public. All right, so next public upload.io key, and then you would pass in whatever your key is. And the reason we use this is because you want to be able to access it in the front end when you're integrating with upload.io. So let's take a look at their documentation. Uploader, yeah, just call uploader. Seems pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so install uploader, and then we import the uploader, and then we initialize the uploader. And here we'll be using the actual API key, which is going to be process.pen.next public upload IO key. All right. Or I think free is the default one that you would use if you don't use. Yeah, if you don't use that. And okay, so they have an upload widget. Actually want the Node.js. Upload.js. Cool. What is this? No, we don't want Node.js. You want JavaScript. Okay. So you would get the file, and then you would call upload file. Okay. On file selected. Pretty cool. Import upload from upload.js. Okay. Upload. Is that what we installed? We installed uploader. Oh, okay. So you don't need uploader, you need upload.js. Let me remove uploader. Install. Why did they have two packages? Oops. Upload.js. And then we do this. And then we initialize it like this. That's be upload equals upload. Okay. And then we simply call upload.upload file, passing in the file. There's whenever it's done, we just upload the file by calling upload with the blob. And then you can pass in some, oh, cool. Okay. Pass some metadata. Okay. And all that stuff is optional, so I don't think we need to do that. So make this async so we can use upload. And then at this point, you're done. So how do you get the file URL back? Okay, yeah. You just need to do that. So we get the file URL, and then we could just console log the file URL for now. So let's just make sure that this is working. All right, so let's get a quick refresh here. Oh, API key must begin with public underscore blah blah. I guess I didn't actually include the API key. So let me just stop real quick, add in my API key over here, and then we'll continue. All right, we're back. And at this point, I added my API key to the .env file. Let's give it a go. Hi, testing 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Right, you can see the uploads call going through. And did we get a response? Oh, we got the API key, the upload URL. Fantastic. So we're able to upload. That was super quick. Wow. It's so much easier than having to manage it yourself. Trust me. Wow, that was like 1 line? Crazy. Okay. All right, so we got uploading done. Next, we just need to transcribe it and then summarize it. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Already making pretty solid progress. But let's not pat ourselves on the back yet. We haven't done any AI stuff yet. This has all been pretty, just piping really. So transcription is going to be the first part, and then we're going to do the summarization next. Cool. So transcription. For this, we could just rename the endpoint that we have over here to transcribe, and remove the typing. I don't think we need any of this stuff. And all right, cool. So in order to transcribe the file, we just need to pass the URL. So the same URL that we have over here, we're going to pass it to API / transcribe. And then we need to pass their body, which is going to be the file URL. All right, so that's going to give us a response. So that makes the actual request. And then, I don't think we need this anymore. We don't need to play the audio. We'll transcribe it. So as soon as you finish recording, we're going to pass it to the transcribe endpoint, and we're going to pass the file URL. Awesome. So coming back to the transcribe endpoint, we're going to read the file URL into the body. All right. Cool. And then we need to. So the way I want this to work is where once we transcribe the text, we'll send it back to the client. Since remember, we're actually going to we're going to allow you to see the original. So it makes sense to store the original on the client. So as we're transcribing, we store the original, we send the original back to the client. and then you would pass that to the summarizer from the client. So the client sort of intercepts the transcription, as opposed to just waiting for the completion and the transcription to come back. It doesn't make more sense as we implement this, but just wanted to kind of give you an idea of how we're going to approach this. So for transcription, we're going to get the file URL, and then we're going to start the transcription process here. Now, when it comes to transcription, I've previously used a service called Replicate, and it's amazing. So we're going to be using the same process here, using the OpenAI Whisper library. And in order to integrate with Replicate, I think they have a pretty straightforward way to do this. npm install Replicate. All right, so going to the docs and sign up for a Replicate account, and then you'd be able to use this yourself. So I headed over to the docs, and then it would give me some code that I can use in order to use Replicate. In our case, we're just going to be using so import Replicate, and then we want to we can actually define this over here. All right. The model we're going to be using is the Whisper model. So yeah, we just need to replace that with the actual model that we're going to be using. Export default async function. Perfect. Don't need to care about that. Cool. So let's go over to the Whisper model. It's this one over here. All right. So it says you need to do this. Oh, okay. So conveniently, it already has this set up for us. So Replicate is there, or we simply need to say replicate.run. Oh, we don't even need one. Huh? All right. So input audio here, we're going to pass in our file URL, which we're receiving from the body. I think you also need to specify the model. Here to the demo. Yeah, they have large and large v2. I'm going to use large v2. It's more accurate, though I think it takes a little bit longer to run. That's okay. We can always switch back if we need to. But yeah, we'll just start off with the large v2 model. All right, so just to give you context about what Replicate is and where it fits, OpenAI open sourced this Whisper model, which you can use for transcription. And Replicate is essentially a way for you to run that model on your own hardware. So instead of you taking that model, downloading it, and running it on your own hardware, Replicate does the same thing. Like they have a bunch of GPUs, and they allow you to, they slap an API right on top of those GPUs so that you can upload files and perform transcriptions and without having to manage the metal yourself, without you having to like get your own GPUs and communicate with the GPUs and create your own APIs and maintain uptime and all that stuff. So they would do all that for you, and it would allow you to pay less as a result, you know, versus having to use OpenAI directly. So that's really the main reason why I'm using Replicate here. And, you know, the price difference is substantial. Like last time I crunched the numbers, and this does change pretty quickly, but last time I crunched the numbers, it was actually like an order of magnitude cheaper than calling OpenAI directly. So 10 times cheaper, at least. So pretty big difference there. Anyway, we get the output, and then pass the file URL. I think at that point, like, you can just return the output just to see how this would work. And let's run it and see. So do a refresh. And let's try it out. Hi, this is a test 1, 2, 3. All right, so we can see a bunch of requests going out. Got uploaded. That's the URL. All right, 500 error. Let's see what happened. Response. Nothing. So let's check here. Unprocessable entity digest. Create prediction. So yeah, something went wrong with the replicate request. Let's see where we're at. So input audio. What's the log the file URL? Let's just make sure we're getting there. Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. All right, so that's your uploads. Type file back. Calling transcribe. Let's check to see if we have the file. File URL is undefined. Okay, no wonder. Why? Request body. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, now I'm actually, so NextJS, API routes, access, body, whatever. I don't know why you can't. How do you access the JSON runtime edge? How do you read? Oh, body parser automatically enabled. Object containing the body parsed by content type when all of their body was sent. So it seems like we are actually sending, yeah, you can see in the payload, we do have the file URL specified. It's just not getting, okay, so this is actually a perfect situation where we can try out debugging with Next.js. So here, essentially what we do is we would create a folder called VS Code. I mean, sometimes they do this depending on like how complicated the project is, but essentially you create this little file in your VS Code launch JSON, and I found this just by Googling it. And then when you go to debug, you can debug server side, and then you can actually step into the request and see what's going on. So I close this. I essentially create an endpoint, a breakpoint here. And now when the request comes through, I'm actually going to see it. And so it could actually make sense to just reframe this particular request without having to do the whole research. All right. Oh, okay. So you can see what's going on. Like request.body is just a string. It seems like either we're not passing the correct header on the client. Yeah, okay. It's because on the client, we don't pass like the actual header that says, yeah, see, it just auto-filled the thing for me. I didn't even have to do anything. Cool. So now when we try again, that should work. Testing 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. All right, so wait for it to upload the file, log the URL, and then send the request to Transcribe. All right. Oh, we got a response this time. Fantastic. You can see it testing 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. You can see we got the transcription almost instantly, so super quick. Which is fantastic. So this is under output and then transcription. So we'll output the transcription. So here we can literally just say transcription. So we can just say transcription here. And complaining about the type. Or I guess it's replicate.run returns a promise. I'm not really sure how this would work. Anyway, so you could just, to fix this, you could just make it as any, and then you'd be able to get the transcription back. So one final try. Hi, this is a test. Does this thing actually work? All right, so uploading, transcription, And wait for it. Wait for it. Come on, come on. Why is it taking so long? Do we get some sort of bug? Sounds like it's still waiting. I guess I jinxed it by saying it worked really fast. Maybe my internet just got disconnected. I just copied that as fetch in case we got stuck. Still going on, right? Well, we can check. Check the predictions here. No, it's still running. Okay, so it got stuck. Alright, this is a test. This is saying actually work. Alright, so come back here. Yep, see that it worked. So we're getting the transcription back. Fantastic. That's actually step 3 done too. So we managed to get the transcription back. Super simple, by the way, huh? You just pass the URL and then get the response. Like, that was straightforward. So kill that. Yeah, we're done with this. Next, we need to summarize it. And for the summarization step, again, we're going to do something kind of similar to this. We'll just duplicate the file and we'll call it summarize.ts. Summarize is going to be a bit different. For one, we're not going to be using replicate anymore. And for two, so here we're going to receive transcription in the body, and then we would do something with that, right? But this is going to be different because we're going to be using OpenAI APIs now. And the second way it's going to be different is we're actually going to be streaming the response back. So you have seen how, like in Chatbot UI or even in the ChatGPT interface, it typically streams the response back to you. So like word by word, and you can actually see the response building up. We're going to be doing something similar. So we're going to have like some help kind of setting up the stream for us. So in order to set this up, I'll explain to you kind of high level what we're going to do. And we're going to be using some scripts that I've already created from past projects to help us just move along quicker with the boilerplate. So I've got a couple of things I'm going to share with you here. First is this, which is a way to create a stream from a response. And so maybe before that, let's go OpenAI. When you're running edge functions, if you want to stream the response back, you need to use a mode of NextJS called edge functions. So NextJS edge API routes. In order to activate this mode, you need to export const config, and you need to set, I can find it over here. Yeah, export const config. We need to set the runtime to edge. And so this will tell NextJS, we're going to be using the edge version. We're going to host this function at the edge. And edge functions are actually limited in the libraries that they support. So for example, they don't support Axios, like the popular HTTP client library that's used in a lot of sort of HTTP wrappers, like the official OpenAI repository, which is why you can't actually use the OpenAI. Like if you can't do npm install OpenAI and then just use the OpenAI library with its support for typings. As an alternative, essentially what I've done is, so when you use this mode, you need to not use Next API request and response. Instead, you would just use, you can use import type from Next server. Okay. Yeah, Next request. I assume Next response too, right? All right, and so here, when you want to, so the first things first, we need to query parameters based on this one. Okay, basic. Doesn't show how you would actually get. So you would call return new response. Right, so in order to make this easier, essentially what I've done is I've created a library called, I literally just built this morning. So if you go to npm.js, search for a library called OpenAI Lite. And yeah, so this is the library that I built. You can use this library as an alternative to using the official sort of OpenAI library. And the beauty of using this library is that it doesn't rely on Axios. Instead, it uses the native fetch API. So this would actually work just fine with hinge functions, which is what we're using here. So pretty cool. You can use that to make your life a little bit easier. So use it. You can just import OpenAI Lite, and then you would initialize it with your OpenAI. I just put it down here. Initialize it with your OpenAI key, which you'd be using OpenAI API key. And we can just fall back to an empty key. And obviously, that's going to fail, but whatever. If you don't provide an OpenAI API key, I'll go ahead and do that now. So I'll stop the stream, add in my environment variable enter .m for the OpenAI API key. All right, we're back. I've added in my OpenAI API key, so I'm going to be able to use that now. And then in order to use the completion API, which is what we're going to be using here, we just need to call OpenAI.complete. Or, in our case, we'll actually be using the chat API, which is this part over here. So we just need to call, we need to set up our messages. All right, and so here we'll just say, your helpful assistant. Maybe what we'll say is, you take transcribed notes and clean them up and summarize them so that they are concise, simple, and easy to read. Finish markdown. Okay, I think that's pretty simple. And then in the user message, we would just say the transcription. And then we would pass the actual transcription that we're getting in there. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how you would parse the body here. I think use JSON. Good. Okay. Yeah, I think that worked. You pass in the messages. So I'll just put that there. So we're going to be using GPT 3.5 Turbo, and that's the transcription, and you get the OpenAI.chat. Okay, so this will give you a stream, and essentially what we want to do is we want to convert that stream to a response, and for that we're going to be using this handy little helper function that I've created over here. Published to this gist. Again, I'll post the link in the description just so you can check it out yourself. But you just really need to import this. Also, make sure that you have an event sourcer parser. And this basically what this does is it takes the OpenAI response, which uses this thing called server-side events, and it converts that into a response that NextJS would be able to stream back. So we just need to say, take this stream from response, or you could just place that here at the bottom. Call it function stream response, which takes a response. All right. Probably more like response to stream. Or yeah, stream to response. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so all we need to do is return new next response, and then stream to response stream. Perfect. And with that, I think we are all set. Let's just do a quick roundup here, kind of see what's going on. So we receive the transcription. We call OpenAI.chat, and then, oh, also make sure that we're setting stream to true. Specify the model, the messages stream back a stream, and then you convert that stream to a response, and then you pass it as a new next response to stream. I think we are ready to go. We could probably add some validation here. So if not transcription, then yeah, we're just gonna say, missing transcription. Cool. Let's go back to index and just make sure that we're passing the transcription. So this is the second part of it, which is once you get the transcription back, how do you display that on the client? And for this, I created a simple component here called stream text, which makes a request to a particular endpoint, and then allows you to just sort of displays the result. So I'll use that method here. It's called getStream. The function is called getStream, and it takes a query. What I'll do is I'll pass the transcription as a string, since that's what we're using on the client. So here, and you call a transcribe. So we fetch transcribe. This will be async. All right, so we get a stream back, and then we get the data from the stream, and then we call it set text. So we need to have text as well. So yeah, just do that. So just call text and get text, and then React. So you need to import React from React. Okay, so you get text, and then here all you need to do is you need to call get stream, and then I think let's just see what's going on here. Right. So you can see here under transcribe, you get a transcription back. So transcription, we can use that transcription here and get stream. Yeah, I've probably just called all Danny, and just so that we can use that real quick. So you get the transcription back, and then you call, maybe instead of get stream, we call it handle stream, or fetch stream. So fetch stream takes a transcription. Maybe we could just make the request ourselves, right? And then we'll make the request here. So we get the stream, and then we call handle stream, which passes the stream itself. Okay. So handle stream takes the stream and then displays the response by calling set text. some text. And so really all you need to do is, since you already have the recording button, is, so we could just say, we could just like include the text down there. Yeah, I think that'll work. Cool. So if any luck, this is going to work. Although I'm highly skeptical that we're going to be able to get this working immediately. Let's give it a shot. Hi there. This is a test stream. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Uploading. All right, passing it to transcription. Getting our response back. And we have some sort of bug. It's fine. No issues with, the transcribe endpoint. Weird. Transcribe endpoint? Oh, yeah. Okay. No, we're not supposed to hit the transcribe endpoint again. This time we're supposed to hit the summarize endpoint. Whoops, my bad. Yeah, summarize endpoint is going to return a string. The transcribe endpoint is not what we need. Yeah, that would explain the bug. Cool. All right, so let's go back. Yeah, whenever that's the other beautiful thing about NextJS. Like whenever you save, even if it's just you save, whether it's the client or the server, it would automatically do the refresh for you, so you don't have to figure it out yourself. All right, let's go to Sean again. Hi. Today I had a really long day, and started off by building this new NPM library called OpenAI Lite, which allows you to access OpenAI APIs with TypeScript, so you get proper types for. I'm just rambling at this point. I don't even know what the point of this is, but anyway, I'm trying to simulate like a realistic note. So let's go ahead and hit stop. That was rambling. That was so bad. Anyway, hit transcribe. All right, passed by a while. Very nice. Wait for the transcription to come through. Apparently it's hit or miss. Like sometimes it'd be pretty quick. Sometimes it would take longer. Obviously, if you talk for longer, it's going to take longer to resolve. But yeah. Bye, come on. You have all day. All right. Okay. That actually came through. Then, oh, it's saying missing transcription? Really? What was the payload like? Oh, you didn't pass the transcript. That's weird. I got transcription back. Huh. See. Await, fetch. Oh, okay, wait. I think I know what's going on. So you need to do response, and then you need to say await response.json. Oh my god, okay. All right, so that'll get you the transcription, then you can send it again to the stream, and then you would handle the stream. Right, okay. Okay, so that was a bit of a waste. What I'll do is copy this as fetch, and then I'll pass in the, what is it? Transcription. Just so that we don't waste time. The value, paste it in inside there. Yeah, let's give it a shot. All right, so we got an error. There's the one. Let's take a look. Malformed JSON. Okay, yeah, that's clearly my fault. Must have missed something. Anyway, so let's give it a shot again. Hi, this is a test. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. This is only a test. Wow. Check it out. This actually worked. Wait, transfer. Why is it providing the transcription? Why it's providing the actual transcription. Oh, okay. No, I don't need you to return the transcription. I guess that's because I told it to use Markdown. Oh, wait a second, guys. This worked. Wow, that was pretty crazy. Didn't expect it to work on the first shot. Right? Well, technically it wasn't first shot, but whatever. So here you need to get a bit creative and kind of adjust your prompt just so that you get better results. And the way we do this is, let's see, how would you do this? The best way I've seen is you can use the OpenAI playground and kind of mess with it until you find something that works. And at that point, you would move it over to your actual application. So here, I give it the same thing, and then I say, here's my transcription. And similarly, you'd use the same sort of model that you were using before. This is the chat mode. And I'll just go back and get the same text. All right, here's my transcription, pass it in. Let's see what the result looks like. So yeah, it's including the transcription and the summary. We don't need that. Your helpful assistant that takes transcribe notes, cleans them up, and summarizes them. That takes transcription from a user, cleans it up, and summarizes it. Make it clear, concise, and easy to read. Provide only the resulting summary Markdown. Okay, so let's run that again. That and submit. That's much better. I don't want that summary. Maybe it's because, maybe kill the Markdown. Drop that. Provide only the resulting summary without any text before or after it. All right, let's see if that works. Yeah, it's doing your whole summary thing. All right, so let's try that. Cool. Okay. I think this is useful. Like this is exactly what you want. So I'll go ahead and try something that's a bit more realistic. So what could I talk about? Let's say I'm just rambling on about, let's see, let me actually just include that here. Okay. Let's try again. I'm going to try rambling again this time, and then let's see if it gives us results that are decent. So recently I started doing a sugar diet, and this doesn't involve only eating sugar, but it's actually the opposite, where you try to exclude any added sugars from your diet. And it's been 12 days now since I started, or maybe 13, I don't know. I keep track of it somewhere. And the results are actually pretty compelling. Like I used to have strong sugar cravings before, and now I feel like that's much more tamed. I don't have as strong sugar cravings, though I do occasionally. but I do feel like it's working pretty well. And the whole purpose, the idea behind that was to reduce my body fat percentage. And it was pretty high, like it was brushing up against, I think, 25% of my body weight. And so I wanted to reduce that, bring it closer to around 20. And so that was the main motivation behind doing this. All right. That's a ramble if I've ever heard one. And so let's see if it's able to make sense of that and create something that's actually understandable, easy, useful. I don't know if summary is important. Like maybe instead of summarizing it, you just make it clear. Speakers started a sugar diet where added sugars were excluded from the diet after 12 to 13 days. Sugar cravings are reduced and the speaker helps to reduce their body fat. Okay, all right, that's cool. That's nice. I like it. I don't know about the references to the speaker, and that sounds pretty, I don't know, punctuous. What do you call it? Let's copy the value. We'll take it over back to the playground, and we'll see if we can make this better. All right, so what you want to do is I want to remove references to the speaker. Do not write the result in first person. Cool. Okay. All right, that works. But would this work if you used a third person? Okay. So this actually works well for this particular instance, but I want to try it out by saying, let's say, so recently, John started doing sharing of this. He used to have straw, and now he feels like that's much more tamed. He doesn't have. But he does feel like it's working pretty well. Okay, cool. So let's see if if that breaks. Oh, cool. Okay. So it gets it. Like it says John. It doesn't, automatically put it in first person, even when you're talking about someone else. Fantastic. So I think this is working, guys. I think this is working. Like this is fantastic. And so essentially what we could do is now go back here. Like, all right, let's save that. And coming back here, we really just need to do two things. One is we need to show the original transcription. So for that, we're going to change this transcription, or just call it original, set original, and then set original transcription. And then you just show like the original. And then you just show that. Okay, for God's sake, I'll just include a BR just to maintain my sanity here. Okay. Cool. So you'll show the text, you'll show the original text, and guys, I think that's it. I think that's it. Like, we got the summary working too, which is fantastic. So now we'll do, I think we're done. We're done here, ladies and gents. So we got that first part where we got something functional. So you can record audio. You would, when the recording is completed, it transcribes the audio, and then it shows you. Oh wait, there's one more thing. We're not providing a title. We're only providing the summary. So maybe we could do that as part of this. Make it clear, concise, provide only the resulting summary. without any text before or after it, like summary, etc. Write the result in first person, provide a title, provide the response in Markdown with a title. Okay, let's see if that works. With an appropriate heading. Oops. Yeah, I was supposed to. Actually, this conflicts with this other thing here. So, provide the response in Markdown with an appropriate heading. Let's try that again. Cleaned up and summarized transcript. That's just confusing. Very helpful. The system takes the transcription, cleans it up, and maybe just drop the cleans it up. Summarizes it in a clear, concise, and easy to read way. Show the result in first person. Provide the response in Markdown with an appropriate heading. Yeah, let's see if that works. Summary of John's sugar diet. Maybe that's okay. So maybe just provide an appropriate heading followed by the summary. Okay, that's not really a summary anymore. It's almost the same length of that. Okay, let's drop it back. Provide the response in Markdown with an appropriate heading. Maybe we could modify this. So you show heading and summary. Let's see if that's possible. Maybe you just need to make a separate request to create the head. I don't know. 2 requests seems wasteful. Is there a way to get a heading? Like I imagine use first person where possible. Format the response in Markdown, including an appropriate heading at the beginning, followed by the summary. Let's see if that works. Come on, guys. Like, the Markdown heading is ridiculous. A brief title. That is summary. No. Provide a brief title followed by the summary. Okay. That is just ridiculous. I mean, I'm just wasting time on. Maybe there's a way from GPT, title, and summary. Maybe there's a way to do this. Offer context. Give examples. Oh, okay. That's actually something you can do. Yeah. And some good tips there, but I don't know that any of that is useful. What if we switch to GPT-4? See, it works now. In GPT-4, it's actually able to provide you with exactly what you need. So really, you just need to switch over to GPT-4. But I feel like that's the lazy solution. You know, I'm not done trying with GPT-3. Let's give it one more shot. Okay. Format your response in this style. Let's see. I mean, that's pretty crazy. I don't even know if that's... Wow, okay. All right, that worked. All right. Really just need to keep trying, right? Keep trying. Yeah, I like it. That's fantastic. And the added benefit here is that you get two pieces of data in a single response, and then you could break it up. So, where are we? Maybe you can, well, you can actually get it to return JSON as well. I've seen people do that. So let's just update that. Fantastic, guys. Transcription. Yeah, you can also use /n in there. All right. So I think we are done, guys. At least with the MVP part. The second part is going to be actually cleaning it up and just making it pretty so that we can make a useful product that is actually usable. So that's going to be the second part. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break and then we'll continue. All right, guys. So we're done with this part here. We won't need that anymore. We're going to dive into the actual UI now, just making things look pretty. We've got a functional skeleton in place, the MVP, and now it's time to make things look good. And that basically means just making it look like this Figma, these Figma screens that I have here. So let me just do I'll do a quick take here to kind of understand what's going on, and then we'll dive into like actually setting this up. So you can see we have a header here. We're using the Ambit font. It seems like a Google font. We'll just make sure, actually, Google fonts. I just want to make sure, so we're looking for Ambit. Okay, that's not a Google font, that's a local font. All right. Maybe we should just replace it with like a Google font. Something that's similar. This looks kind of similar. Looks made for display. All right, let's just use that. So we can come here and then we just say Wix is that next font Google. Wix made for display. Is that how it is? No exported member. Okay. So what do you have here? Oh, it's actually not in the list of fonts. Maybe that's a new thing. Maybe the one I have is just old. Yes. Anyway, let's see if we maybe just need to update Google Fonts. Once you're at, that looks pretty similar. All right. So just need to use that here. And so really we just need to, like, for example, if you wanted to try it out over here, we would just say h1 class name equals, and then you'd say monsterite dot class name. And if you wanted to add additional classes, like you obviously do, you can use a, there's like a function class names. I think I have that here somewhere. Don't know where I saw that. Or CLSX, like there's actually a library that allows you to do this. You can either use a library or you can use like class names. Yeah, this one. This is what I wanted. Fantastic. So yeah, you just go back here and then you say class names, and then you would pass in that as well as whatever it is that you want. So let's say text to Excel, font bold, or font size. Yeah. What's the color scheme? Maybe we're gonna be using like text slate 800. All right, so just do a refresh there, make sure it's working. Oops. Yeah, I gotta run that again. Come on. What's the deal? Failed to download Monster. The user aborted her request. What? Oh, that's why it was taking so long? I was downloading the font. Really? Aborted. That is weird. I'm not really sure what's going on here. Like you have the... Oh, I didn't type any text. Okay, that would make sense. So go back to Figma Beta and let's just say no. Yeah, I don't know if that's the font. Is that the correct font? Oh, that's the fallback. Apparently it didn't download the correct one. Why? We had to enter before. Why did that work? But not this. Let's read up on it. Enter from next front Google. Okay. So why didn't this work? Import. There. Weird. Yeah, that should work. That should definitely work. Strange. Yeah, no idea why it's using this fallback. Maybe we could use another font just to see. If you can't use a variable font, you will need to specify a weight. Okay, could that be on? No, that's it. there it is. It's working now. Cool. Very nice. All right, so you got that. And then this text over here, that's going to be enter. Well, so yeah, I guess you could use enter as well. Cool. And I think the way you'd go about doing this is you would have a default sort of font that you would use for, and I don't know how you would have that in here, like the default font. I think what you could do is just attach it on this. So you just do like enter.class name, and basically anything that is not a header would get that class name. So yeah, I think that would work. That's one way you could do this. Cool. All right. So pretty straightforward. I think the way I would set this up is I would have the headings pretty straightforward. Here you would have a button, and that button will change state based on what it is you're doing. So the recording button that we have right now would need to have several states, and you would have a sort of idle state, you would have a recording state, and then you would have a busy state. So idle, recording, busy, and this would all be the same screen. And essentially when it goes into recording state, you need to show this recording indicator and then start some sort of timer so that you could display the elapsed time. So that would allow us to do that, and it'd be pretty easy to update this too. Yeah, you can handle the state because it's already living in like this layer above, which is the actual page. The tricky part, I think, is going to be, so how do you do the cancel? And if you do cancel, I think essentially what you would need to do is re-render the recording button. So kind of reset the recording button. And the way you'd reset it is you would just remove it and plug it back in, and that would just create, delete any state inside the recording button, including the stream that you have going on. Maybe there's some sort of cleanup that you need to do as well. So you would call your recorder.stop, maybe. Probably. Yeah. Media recorder not stop. Or maybe that happens automatically. I'm not even sure. But definitely something we need to consider. I think the way you get around that is you would just say this, and then you would just need to make sure that you return a method that does clean up media record. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think that will work. If not recording, recorder.start. Toggle recording. Sure. Well, yeah, I think the way you would do this is, like, you would actually, instead of doing like toggle recording this way, you could actually just track what's happening to the recording variable, and then by setting it on or off, you'd be able to take all of the requisite actions. So sort of decouple the variable from like the actual logic around turning on and turning off recording. I don't even know if this is going to do anything. Like, I don't know. We'll check it out later. Anyway, that's the tricky part. And then this, pretty straightforward. You already have this going. And you just need to wrap this up in a modal. So you probably need some sort of close button. So we could do that here. So like a why does that look off? Weird. Yeah, maybe it's because it's got these weird these weird numbers. Like it's not exactly 14. It was like 14 point whatever. Yeah, it's weird. It's still off. Yeah, we'll get the icons from here. There's hero icons, my favorite. So we just copy the SVG, paste it in here. But yeah, essentially since it's a modal, you'd have a close button, and then you'd move all that stuff maybe down there a little bit. Yeah, that works. Or something like that. And then when you close it, it would take you back to this new node screen. So we don't actually like keep a record of your prior nodes. Maybe that's something that we can do later. But for now, I think this will be enough. All right, so I think we have everything that we need in order to get started. So let's go ahead and get this going. So we'll start with the new note page, and here we would simply show the title new note. Right. Down, and you would have paragraph E3. This is going to be, I think this is, so 6474 or whatever. This is 6474. 500, so text slate 500. We make it text large, just see what that looks like. Okay. All right, definitely going to need, so around the page itself, or maybe on the main, you do px4 and then py4. Well, I guess just p4. Yeah. And then leave some space here, so 14. So nt roughly 4. Looking good. This needs a bit more weight. This, so maybe make it semi-bold. And the semi-bold is 600. You need to update that to 600. Yeah, maybe that's too much. Is that 500? Like, medium? Is that what medium is? Yeah. Cool. That looks better. Right. And is that's 182. Okay. That works. And then you need a microphone at the very bottom. So for this, what you're going to do is you're going to have flex column, and then you're going to have maybe space between, and you're going to have your heading. Here you would have these guys. What is heading? I don't know, header? Is that what you would call it? Maybe? I mean, you could just make it a div. And then your recording button at the very bottom. And yeah, we get rid of this. Yeah, that's not going to show anything until you make it H screen. So this needs to be H screen. And buffer flow Y is just going to be hidden. Cool, very nice. All right, and now for the button itself, let's center the button. Cool, looks good. Maybe give it some space for the bottom. 12. That looks fantastic. All right, now let's work on the button. So for the button, and you're using this color, I don't know if that's from here. Is it from here? Yeah, it is. It's Violet 500. So HE Violet 500. It's definitely got a bit more breathing room here. And by the way, we want to use hero icons in here as well. Is there a way to access this? Here we'll, I think there's an NPM thing, right? No, well, it should be here. Yeah, there it is. React. You don't really need it, but yeah, it's nice to have. Let's add that. So for this, what we're using is the microphone icon. Seems like it's a bit larger. So what is it called? Yeah, microphone. Miscellaneous? Yeah, we want not this one. Oh, this is just SVG. That's not what we want. You want the React library. It's still returning. That's weird. Why is it not returning JSX? It's returning. I guess it's SVG in JSX format. Then what format to use for this? Let's see. Oh, here it is. Okay. React 24 solid. So here we're going to say microphone icon. And then we'll just use the microphone icon here. Buttons. Oh, it doesn't have an icon right now. Yeah, you can still use these. Nice. So, come back to the preview here. Yeah, it just has the text. So that's why you want to add the actual thing. Let's just try 6. I'll see. And to warn it to be white. Okay, very nice. And you don't need the text. So if it's, yeah, recording is not going to be sufficient for maintaining the state. We'll get to that in a second. Has a fixed width. I don't know if that's okay for our purposes. Maybe it's okay. But what I want to do is just do place items center, so we get it centered. Very nice. And I think we might need to make it bigger. So instead of 16, maybe do 18 or play. Yeah, that looks okay, but now this looks a bit small, so maybe make this 8. Yeah. What do you think? I think it works. The gate is working. It's talking to me, you know? I feel it. It's talking to me. But now, like the new header, seems like it's a bit too close to the top, so maybe make it T2. That's perfect. That's very nice. Does this seem light to you? Enter regular 14. Sure. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Not light. It needs to be a light. It needs a bit more spacing. And I think it's called leading, not tracking. Tracking wide. Okay, that's a bit too wide. Maybe tracking. Well, it is normal by default, right? Yeah. I'm gonna forget about it. Yeah, it definitely needs a light. Man, like, this tweaking's gonna take freaking forever, man. That's how it is. Alright, so we did say we were gonna introduce a state here. So we're gonna have to have, right now we're using recording. Where is it? Recording. Oh, that's inside the button. Okay, so let's head to the button. Instead of using just recording, we're going to be using state or status. Set status. And it's going to be idle, but it actually accepts idle, I think, busy. What was the other one? There's idle, and then recording. Busy. Or active. Idle, active, and busy. Yeah. Set status. Okay. Cool. So you have a status now, and this would replace recording. So it would, so toggle recording. I don't know that you would need toggle recording. Like, that just seems, unclick is toggle recording. Okay. Well, status. So if status is idle. And you would disable disabled equals status is busy. So when it's busy, you're gonna disable it. Here you're gonna say status equals active. It's going to be here you can say set recording or set status active. Here you say set status idle. Alright. Cool. So when it's busy, it's going to be disabled. And yeah, if it's active, it's going to have a red background. We don't want to have a red background. We're going to have that bubbly thing, the pulsating thing. This, for now, yeah, we'll keep it. Here we had a method, I think on start recording, which we're going to need. And that's just going to be void. So on start recording, we're going to use that. We're going to use that here. Then you have on stop recording. So in pages, you're going to have on start recording, and it will start. So here you should do this as handle finish recording. Yeah, handle start recording. So here we're going to have a handle start recording method. And all we're going to do here is we're going to update our state so that we can show, turn this state over. And I think here we're going to have a similar thing to what we had in the recording button. So you're going to have an idle state, you're going to have a recording state, and then you're going to have like a busy state or transcribing state. And depending on what the status is, you're going to show a different message. So might as well just set that up in the same way. In fact, we could just copy paste it from here. All right, ev react.use state. Okay, and then when you call handle start recording, you're just going to call set status active. And when you handle finish recording, you're going to call set status busy, right? And when you first load, you're going to be in idle state, so that's okay. Okay. So this header would only show this would be the header that you would show you were in the status equals idle. And here you could have this. Similarly, you'll have status equals active. And, you'll have like the same header that you had earlier, which is going to be, what is the header? Recording. So it's just going to say recording. You don't need this. Then under that, you're going to have this block over here. So maybe instead of header, just call it div. And here you would have your block. So this would be like your recording timer. Yeah. All right, recording timer. So we'll create a component here called recording timer. And we can actually rely on our friend GPT once more. So we want a React component. We want a timer that starts counting up from seconds, minutes. Okay. What do you want to do? Yeah, I think that's it. It's really just a visual indicator, and then you're also going to have a cancel button, which would say, uncancel. I think that's it. Let's see what it comes up with. All right, so while that's running, yeah, I think just call it timer. Recording timer. Yeah, same thing, right? Okay, so timer. Style in a minute. Cool, got it. Just drop that in there. And of course, you probably want to do like a sanity check, just make sure everything's okay. Use a fact every second. It's going to increase the interval. It's going to clear the interval. It sets the seconds. And when you format time, show remaining second. Why do they call it the remaining seconds? I guess the remainder. Okay, cool. Let's see if it works. So, going back here, where are we? No errors. And you want to activate the timer. Yeah, obviously, I want to cancel. And so you can have a cancel finish recording. Maybe call it handle cancel recording, just so we're more explicit. Alright, so when you cancel recording, you're just going to set status to idle. And we need to do that remove and reload the recording button component. I think that you can use a key for this. Well, React bot is what? React period. There's a way to do this. I forgot how to do this. Yeah, I think you could use a ref, and you could just change the ref, or I don't think it's a ref. It's a key. So you bind a key, and then you would change the key in order to reload the component. So const, like, recording key, recording button key is, that, for instance. And, yeah, I think it's something like this. Let me ask GPT, since I got him here. Model will generate a key for React component that I can later use to remove and create a new instance of the component. To recreate a new instance. When you update the key with a new value, React will treat it as a new instance. Okay, nice. So that'll get us past this. Oh, okay. You don't need to get fancy. You just use component key. So recreate component and use hello cancel recording. Recreate the recording button. And I think you'd have to specify it. Yeah. So recording button equals recording button key. All right. Fantastic. So that should take care of canceling the recording as well. Cool. What do we need to do now? I think we've got the majority of this done. Coming back to the component, we need to do this pulsating animation type thing. But before that, let's just test this out to make sure we're okay. So go back here and click on the button. Hi, this is testing. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, testing. All right, so when you hit cancel, there's no upload, nothing happens, right? Fantastic. And it goes back to its original state. Let's see if we can record again. Hi, this is a test. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, testing. When you click it again, that's when it does the upload. Right. And then calls the transcription. Fantastic. This is coming together. And summarize. Yeah, but it's actually in the wrong state, so it's not going to show up in the UI, which is fine. Like, we're not title audio testing summary. On top of like actually seeing this all working, I love it. Cool. So what I want to do now is adjust the active state a little bit, and the way to do that is by just setting it as the default. So here we're going to already got the recording heading, which is fine. I want to go to the timer and just adjust it a little bit so it looks better. And I think all you need to do here is, yeah, that's going to be like text slate, maybe 600. And then the whole thing is going to have PG flex. Oh, okay. I don't know that it needs to be a flex. Okay, whatever. Item center. Well, time itself is going to be Montserrat. Right. So let's do this. Rush. Ranked. So let's give it the font here. And make this 3XL. I think this was medium, right? Yeah. All right, make it 4XL. And then just space it out a little bit. Give it a bit of a background. So this will be VG slate 50. And then PY maybe, I don't know, 12 or 8. This is actually going to be close to the bottom. So this is going to be underline. And space them out. Yeah, apply a snakes maybe. I think we're getting there. Alright, just needs to be rounded. Get a color. What color is that? Or sorry, 569. Let's see what that is. That's 600. Okay. I think it's a bit more spaced out than what we're seeing over here. So maybe make it tracking wide. Yeah, looks good. And spaced out here from the top. So primary. You could do that pretty low by just doing like H4 or something. Yeah. Maybe 6. Looking good. I like it. And maybe not make it bold, like make it 400, value of 300. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Love it. Just make this slightly lighter. Well, 400. It's good. 400's alright. Cool. That's a timer for you. And so we'll go back to IO, or just keep it as active. I want to do the animation for the thing here. So, or yeah, click this idle, and then we get rid of the recording button and set the status here as active, so I can see what that looks like. All right, so for this, we're going to use one of these spinners. I'm guessing this one. This will do. Okay, so that's a class. So microphone icon will be shown when the status is idle. And then when the status is busy or active, you're going to use the stop icon. Stop icon. That's what we're seeing here. So stop icon. You get rid of that background. Like, we don't need. Although I do like. Yeah, I like that you have a different color. It kind of indicates that it's active. It's doing something, right? So yeah, maybe keep it. Maybe keep it. Okay, and then you will also have the pulsating animation. Pulsating chain. I mean, yeah, it's this pulse effect. Yeah, this one. Let's see. Is this the same one? Yeah, that's exactly it. Let's take a look at that. Blob. Single div with a blob class, as we use this to target in the CSS. Okay. So you have blob. Cool. Very nice. Looks pretty straightforward. So this blob thing, how do you do this? I think the way you do this is oh, my AirPods are low on charge. I'm going to go ahead and take them off and hope that you can still hear me. I'll stop the recording and then restart in a minute. Time to add the class for the sort of CSS classes to get this going. And I think the way you would typically do this with NextJS, CSS, I think you use some sort of module, CSS styling module. Yeah. I mean, there are several ways you can do this. You could just add it to the global styles, and that way it would be made available to everyone. That's what I'm going to do here. So just to add this, this will give you the black one. The one I was interested in is this purple one. So let's see, pulse purple. Yeah, that'll do. So we'll just take this. So blob purple would have so you have a background that's not black. The box shadow would be this instead of the black one. And the animation is pulse purple. So we just call it pulse. Okay. So those are the color specific things, and then you have the pulse consign here. So I'll just call it pulsating, and in here you just need to wrap it up with a, well, wrap it with a div pulsating. Alright, let's see if that's working. Okay, it's a bit off. And I'm guessing it's because, yeah, it's got all of these things. And we want to wrap it on the original element, not on that, so. Okay, so, alright, we can do that. We can go up here and say, okay, this would be easier to do if you're doing this. Okay, let me just circle back here a second. 5 names. I should probably, instead of just pasting the class names function in here, I should probably just define it somewhere central, but I just want to get this going. So class names, we'll do all that, and then we'll say if status is active, then we'll add pulsating. No, there is a way to do this, right? Status. Yeah, okay. Okay, whatever. Very cool. So you can see now if it's in idle state, nothing, and then active state, it starts pulsating. It's supposed to be red, but it's not. Instead, it has this background going on, which I assume is because, like, the pulsating thing is in front of your button rather than being behind, or maybe it's got. Oh yeah, okay. Let's give it a z-index. Let's give it a z-index of -1. Yes. Okay. Yeah, not really sure what to do about that. And A0. Well, it is a box shadow. I guess it's not going to affect it. And if you're using a pseudo element, then you'd be able to put it behind it. But I think this is okay, right? You could probably do, I mean, where this is RGBA, so you could do, 255 0 0. I'm like, if you wanted it to be red. Okay. Yeah, I think this is okay. Cool. So that's telling you that it's recording. And then the last state that you want to code up is the busy state. So similar to that one, use for this. Very, very nice. I'm really liking how it's coming together. All right. So for that, you're going to use this state over here. We'll go back here, and we're gonna use this spinner over here. That's gonna be your loader. Again, we'll just put it over here. Loader. Yeah. Okay. So for the loader, go back here and we say equals busy. Alright, so let's set the status to busy. See what that is like. Very nice. And obviously when it's busy, you can't click it because it's disabled, right? Yeah, I think that's almost exactly what we're looking for. And maybe you could tweak the size. Not exactly 48. Hey, we could set your own size here. So you can go back here and then give it a class name. So it's -8 with 8, for instance. Or 12. Maybe 14. Yeah, 14 is perfect. Alright, so I think we've got all that covered. Going back here, we just need to do that final status thing here. So we say our status is busy. We're going to show the note transcribing. And then we're not going to show a timer anymore. Instead, we're going to show the message. Yeah, now we're going to show this. Alright, and you can test that out as well here by setting the state to busy. Looking good. Alright, so let's test the whole thing together now. Set this back to idle. We'll test out the logic, just kind of walk through it ourselves by hand and make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to. So, say it's busy, we're going to show all that. Recording button is going to handle its status on its own. And then what you also want to do is, once it's done with the transcription phase, How do you communicate? So on start recording, you call handle start recording. Okay. On stop recording, you call handle finish recording. For here, you set the status to busy, which would take care of, updating the UI. And then you stream the summary. You set the original transcription, and you stream the summary back. Okay. And I think at some point you'd have to set the status back to idle. And once you start getting the stream, you should show this modal, which would represent the final screen. So I suppose what you want to do is you want to pass the stream to maybe a modal where, would show the actual result. Or alternatively, you don't even use a modal anymore. What you do instead is, maybe you don't need a modal. What you could just do is show the actual title and the text underneath. Okay. That could work. So what you need is really a fourth state where you call handle stream. And I assume that would happen like whenever you, where is handle stream? Well, not done. So when you have text, when you have actual text, then, at that point you would enter this last state. So depending on whether you have text available or not, and that will determine which of these two screens you're going to be showing. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And then at some point you probably want to hide this. Yeah, you want to do that as soon as you have text. Okay, so you'll have a busy state. So status is busy, and here you're going to have so if text what's going on here? Okay. So if status is busy, so here you actually have text. So when you do have text, we're going to show the text. And maybe you're going to show the original as well. And this is really more for testing purposes than it is, actually seeing the thing. So, okay. And this is going to be visible when, so you'll see this button when you have when text is not equal to So only when text is empty, you'll see this button. Very cool. All right. So I think we're ready to test this out. We've got most of the pieces coming together and hopefully working. So let's take it out for a spin. Hi, this is a test. I'd like to know if this new recording product that I'm building is actually working. It turns out the only way to actually know if it's working or not is to test it. Okay, you can see the cancellation canceled it. It didn't send any recording out. Let's try it again. This morning, I was getting on the bus to go to work when I spotted something very strange. There was a hooded man sitting in the back seat, holding a rifle and playing what looked like was Candy Crush. All right, transcribing. You can see, so when it got to transcribing, it's not actually showing the correct state. So there's something wrong here. It's not showing the correct state. Okay, cool. Nice. That's coming together very nicely. But the problem is, like, the recording button, it didn't know that it was in the... okay. So you have one state which is actually external to the button itself. It doesn't know that it's in the busy state. And interesting. It doesn't know that it's in the busy state. Okay. Because when you click on it, it calls toggle recording. Well, maybe all you need to do is, rather than set status to idle, what you're going to do is set status to busy here. Yeah. That would take care of it. Or should take care of it. Alright, the only thing left is to clean this up a little bit, so that we actually have something that looks decent. So on this final stage, we're going to give it a class name. Now, the thing with text is you have to split it. What you want is, so depending on the response that you're getting back, the response we are getting back is title and then summary, right? So what you want to do is parse that into a title and a summary. So I'm thinking, like, the way to do that is probably to have, so you have text, and you could have title and subtitle, and read summary, set summary, and then you just call the activities of the pack so that whenever text changes, you would update your title. You would call so you would split your text based on, maybe you'd use a regex. To extract the title and summary, private the text no rock. I streamed response. A streamed response represented by the text below. I mean, the reason I mentioned streamed is because it's going to be coming in piece by piece. Cool. So you have your title regex, and you have your summary regex. Text dotted match. So here you would just call title match row. And there set title, then set summary. All right. And now you can just use title and summary in here. So here you would have your title. Alright, very road. And this is going to be, what was the name of the font? Balance wrap. Alright, let's give it one more try. Hi, this is a test. I'd like to know if this is actually working or not. Transcribing, you can see this nice little thing. You can click it, doesn't do anything. And then hitting the summarize endpoint. The speaker is conducting a test and wants to know if everything is working properly. Perfect. This is exactly what we wanted. Fantastic. Now, we just need to add the button at the bottom. What we do now is finish the buttons here. So copy and show original, and as well as the record again. I think that we would have everything done. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll start with the buttons. So coming back here, let's take a look at the running wall. So you can see this is the final thing. Your title and summary and original. Well, once it begins, so first part would actually be the over. If it says report. It's not showing up. Is this running? Looks well. Yeah, work hard to bold refresh. Okay, so for more, you can see that the what's kind of showing up. Let's do it with T. Needs a border, which is which 500. Yeah, looks about right. and text with background too small. Very nice. Okay. So for one, you want to make sure that this button is only visible when you have text. Like, I would assume that this would all be shown. If text is empty, you'd get nothing. Otherwise, you'd get that. So if you were to refresh, it does show. Very strange. I would not expect that to show. So you have status when the status is busy and there is no text. But we would see transcribing when the status is busy and there is text. We would see the summary, the original button at the bottom. So status, what is status? Status is idle, text is empty. That's strange, very strange. Alright, so maybe take a look at the dev tools and see what's going on here. Right. A recording button under home. Recording button. Is that strange or what? Why is it showing up? Okay, I think the issue is that status is busy, text is empty. So what you want really is, when I say status is busy, then you have this section here. So if text is empty, then you do this. Otherwise, you do that other thing. You just need to make sure you close the status thing at the end. Like this. So this would only apply when status is busy, text is empty. You would get this. Otherwise, you would get the rest of this. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, so let's make this a test. This is a test. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Testing, testing, testing. Right, let's give it a more. I think it'd be nice if we could see some progress updates. So besides just saying transcribing, we could have uploading, transcribing, and you could have that final step where it actually completes. Maybe. Since we have the actual link to the file, it might also make sense to make that available to provide a way to play the recording. Maybe. I think that might be an interesting touch. Alright, so you can see the title, the summary, recording end obviously needs to be at the bottom. It actually be absolutely positioned. So we could do either, 10 or whatever. And we could have a name here that's relative as takes the height of the screen. So that would be bottom, let's say 6. Okay, bottom 10 probably looks better. Okay. And so even if it's a bit long, it's okay. All you need to do is offset that by providing additional padding at the bottom. So we do padding 16 at the bottom. And I think we did overflow Y hidden. You definitely don't want to do that. So you could scroll if you need to, but just keep that option there. Give you a little some Yeah, I guess it's okay. I mean, ideally, the PV6 tool will be the text itself. So censor the text section. Anyway, we'll tweak that in the end. But for now, we just need to implement the buttons. I think that's the only thing that's left. The copy and the show original. So should be pretty straightforward. We'll have the show original here. Show original. Let's give that a bit of stuttering. Did bold over. I guess PG slate page 50. X slate probably 500. Give it a PX at 1.5. PY 1. See how that looks. Yeah. PX2. No, looks better. 3. And so full rounded to that just gives it that. And I don't know if PV50 is working. Maybe do or PG slate 50. Maybe make that PG slate 100. Yeah, that's good. Let's try text. Yes, no, let's keep it. I got a feeling maybe PX4 and PY works. Yeah, okay, that's definitely better. Cool. So we'll let that div and make that likes, and then just put a gap of 3 between them. So we'll put this, put another one. The other one is going to have a copy. Okay. The copy is also going to have a logo. So we have to get that from somewhere. So is that logo? Oh, I think it's from here. I can say one copy. Yeah, there it is. Blocking duplicate. Oh no, maybe the mini ones. Yeah, there it is. Document. It's not like document duplicate. Maybe clipboard. Clipboard document would probably be a better fit. Or document duplicate. Clipboard, maybe. Just use clipboard instead. Alright, so clipboard icon. That's going to be from React 20. Is that its thing? So, okay, it is. Cool. So let's do that. Let's get that ultimate. Yeah. So just make it small. Here you would just say just center. Well, not just by center. Let's see them. A line. I think a line. Baseline. Let's try that. City. There's the item is I keep getting mixed up. I can never remember exactly which one to use. And then maybe cap X2. Maybe that's a bit too much. And it does seem like it's dark, so maybe text just make it slightly lighter. Okay, that's too light, so 400. Yeah, that works. This one, very nice. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so all you need to do now is empty 4. Space that out a little bit. Cool. So what we need to do now is so originally we want to toggle based off of this. You're gonna have to maintain states somewhere. So we could have show original, something like that. This. Let us be previous, and then you just say not previous. Previous is a string. Old previous be a string. Okay. Set show original. Yeah, that's okay. So that would toggle your show original, and then here, let's say a couple ways you can do this. The easy one would be to just say show original. Oops. Okay. That's going to take care of like actually showing the original. And then the other side to this is the copy button. For that, I think there's a library you can use. Copy React, copy clipboard. There's a library that we can use to implement copy. Okay. I wonder if this would actually work, or if you need some support for some. I remember there's some Flash library or something you could use. It seems really archaic. Anyway, so on click is handle copy. Let's see. Just here. Right, so this is going to be the and maybe show some sort of confirmation that you copied the text. I know this is really fun, is really like old school, but you could just show like a little copy alert. That should work. Alright, so let's try again. Hi, this is a test. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Uploading, and it's uploaded. Now it's transcribing, and it's summarizing. And at the moment it's true. Yeah, that didn't work. It definitely didn't work. Okay. So it's supposed to copy the summary, but it didn't. And so there are a couple things here that we can do to improve our current state. I think one would be so you want to show the buttons after the load is complete, after the summary has been fully printed out. Dictate that while done text. So basically capture done. Now we're not going to set status to idle. What we could do is let's done typing. So you could just say done typing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, All right, so set done typing is true, and this would only be visible when you're done typing, so it would only show buttons. So this part over here. Okay, that'll only show when you're done typing. And then here you want animate recent. So here we're going to do set status idle, text original. I guess you don't need to do that. Original and everything else gets done. Yeah, okay. We'll still take care of everything. And reset. Okay. All right, so I think we are ready to try this again one last time. I'm going to test this out one last time to make sure everything is working. Let's take a look. Document was focused. Hell yeah. Also, the copy didn't work. I completely forgot about that. Yes. Okay. Anyway, we'll see. Yep, didn't work. Cool. Very nice. And then record again. That works too. So we just need to fix the copy to clipboard. And then just use our trusty AI once more. Create a function that copies text to clipboard using TypeScript. Kumar. All right, well, we're waiting for that. Is there anything else? Any kind of tiny things that you think we need to address? I think that's most of it. Can't really think of anything else. Ah, it's doing the same thing. Well, that's nice. This is cool. It's going to update the text in the button itself. That's interesting. Cool. So it just calls navigator clipboard right text, which I think is the same thing you're doing. Navigator clipboard right text. Then it has summary. Maybe that summary is empty in some weird way. I don't know. Let's try it again. Hi, this is a test. can see document is now focused. It's that. But okay, so that's clearly not working. Strange. So the user is performing a test to ensure the system is working properly. You're getting this DOM exception. Document is not focused. Repaired. Huh. That is strange. Document is not focused, so you can't copy the clipboard. Maybe there's a library that takes care of this. Sure. Okay. This seems promising. Let's install it and try it out. So you just simply have to copy and copy. Let's see if that works. I've been thinking about getting a haircut for the past 2 weeks, and I've been putting it off. I think this is some sort of subliminal message from my inner core that's communicating to me a desire to keep my hair off. Gosh, this is the worst part. I'm just rambling, trying to figure out a topic that you can talk about. Anyhow, this ordeal is almost over. The user has been contemplating getting it. Why is it still talking about the user? Oh my god, it worked. Fantastic. Yep. User. Why is it talking about the user? I thought we fixed this. And avoid the user or the speaker. Okay, let's see if that works. So, copy it. Let's just send that request through once more. And see what the response is like. I don't know if it's going to fix it or not. Wait, I didn't see. Okay, the speaker. Let's try that again. The speaker has been considering getting a haircut. I literally mentioned, see, this is the worst part. I mean, trying to figure out like what you need to do in order to coax it to get the result that you want. Trickiest bit of all of this. Anyway, so I'll paste that in, see if we can do something about that. Yeah, it's a formatting thing. Let's try the speaker. It still says each person avoid. Let's see if that helps. Never refer to the user speaker. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, clearly it's not getting the message. Alright, let's see if that helps. Oh, fantastic. That's getting the results we needed. Okay, and with that said, I think this project is complete. Let's check things off one more time, make sure everything is okay. We start off by implementing a new note. It toggles the case. It creates this nice little animation with a timer, transcribes the document, and it shows you a summary with the option to record again. You have copy and show original buttons that are both functional. And that's it, ladies and gents. I'm going to go ahead and publish this website and include a link in the description as well if you'd like to try it out yourself. I'll include a link to the GitHub repository with all of the code. If you have any comments or questions, drop them below. I'll try to get to them when I can. And thanks a lot for tuning in. I don't even know if anybody does. I think the entire thing was probably like a couple of hours, probably 2 hours, just like I estimated. But I don't know if anybody should watch this entire thing. If you do, definitely leave a comment. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, that'll motivate me to publish more of these instead of just keeping them to myself. Thanks all for tuning in. Take care, and I'll see you soon.